Before we begin this video and really dive deep into the theory, I would like to make a works cited section of the video just here at the beginning, just so that way you as the viewer can understand where I'm getting some of my clips from. So one of my clips is from Beejie and the other one is from Walker Films. I couldn't really find a business email for either of these individual channels, so that way I could ask for permission to use the footage, but I figure I'm not using too many clips, so I guess it'd be fine. But just to be safe, I am going to be linking their YouTube channels and the videos themselves in the description of this video, so that way you as a viewer can find the videos and also see where I'm getting my information. Thank you. Also, some harsh language will be used in the video, so if you kind of don't really want to hear that, maybe shy away, but it is a Left 4 Dead 2 video, so. Left 4 Dead 2 as a video game is set in a non-existent reality. I mean, it's fairly obvious to anyone that's actually sane. There are, hardly no people in it. The people that are in it are, dead or untrusting of other humans, which I mean, I guess in today's modern society, it's not different. But I mean, there's corpses walking around. There's people with, that have mutated into different entities entirely. So, I think it's not too far off to assume that there are other mythological things at play in the Left 4 Dead 2 universe. And today I just want to go over a theory about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Coach. And specifically why I don't think this is the actual Coach. The Coach that we play in Left 4 Dead 2. This isn't Coach. I think the Coach that we were supposed to know is gone, and he was killed at the beginning of the game. Like, I'd say before even the first opening title sequence is like rolling, before the survivors even meet each other on the dead center roof for the first time. I think the Coach that we see in game is a skinwalker. I think he is some aberrant, abhorrent, maybe he is a part of the special infected. I'm not really sure. What I do know is that's not Coach. And I kind of want to give my basis as to why I think that's not Coach. And what better way to start than by his very convenient name and his very convenient outfit that he wears all the time. Alright, first and foremost, let's talk about Coach's appearance just for 1 second. So he wears what I'm assuming to be a traditional assistant football coach's outfit, right? He's got the purple and yellow turtleneck, gold chain. His shirt says FHS, which I'm assuming that's the Savannah High School, logo, I'm thinking. Maybe their initials. He's got brown khakis on, a little bit of dirt near the cuff. And he's also got brown shoes. I'm assuming they're business casual brown shoes, just standard business shoes. But this is all kind of convenient, right? I mean, who in their right mind is on a normal day wearing their work uniform? I mean, maybe he just got off work, but this is supposedly this game takes 3 weeks after the infection. So you're telling me he didn't have enough time to go home and change his clothes? You're telling me he didn't have enough time? Huh. Maybe I should get out of my work uniform so I don't look at this for the rest of my days. He didn't think about that for 1 second? Alright, so besides his very, very convenient outfit, what about his very, even more convenient name? Just Coach. And you're thinking to yourself, he can't possibly be telling these people that's what his name is. Listen to these clips and tell me. Listen to literally all of them and you will tell a very distinct pattern.
My friends call me Coach. I guess y'all can do the same.
Nick, not that it matters, because I think we should split up when this thing opens.
Let's stay together for a little while longer at least, okay, Nick? Hit the button before this turns into
Nick,
a badass
Nick, y'all did good. What are your names?
Ellis. Nice to meet you, Nick. Rochelle, you?
Coach will work. So, pleased to meet you. You can call me Coach. What's your name?
Ellis, pleased to meet you, Coach.
So, pleased to meet you. You can call me Coach. What's your name?
Pleased to meet you, Coach. Folks call me Ellis. I run an auto shop with a couple of my buddies. We're also in a band. I play bass. Instead of evacuating, I armored up a truck to drive myself out of here. Built that thing to be zombie-proof.
Whoa.
Well, it turns out it was only 99% zombie-proof. Last 1% tore that truck to shit.
Oh,
And I'm Rochelle. I work in television. Worked in television.
Pleasure to meet you, Rochelle.
Thanks. I was down here covering a news story. I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, you don't say, wrestling and such?
No. Hard news. I've been producing segments on CETA evacuating people.
Huh. If everybody's evacuating, who's watching the news?
I guess my boss never thought of that.
Figures. Bosses are shitheads.
there we go. And you?
Name's Nick. From the looks of you three, I'm the only one here who knows how to fire a weapon.
I learned how to shoot a gun before I learned how to walk. Nice to meet you, Nick.
But don't worry about learning it, because I ain't sticking around long. And I'm gonna get out of this piece of shit city if it kills me.
Oh, you meeting some other friends?
Let's stay together for a little while longer at least. You?
There's blood on me, but it ain't mine.
Holy shit. This some sort of nightmare, goddamn zombie apocalypse and shit. Shit. What the hell are we gonna do?
Settle down, son. We're gonna be okay. What's your name?
My name is Ellis, but some people call me Elle. But I really prefer Ellis, as Elle sounds kind of like a girl's name. But if you prefer to call me Elle, you can. I run an auto shop around here. Instead of evacuating, I armored up a truck to drive myself out of here. Built that thing to be zombie-proof. Well, it turns out it was only 99% zombie-proof. Last 1% tore that truck to shit.
If we're all getting to know each other, my name's Rochelle. I work in television. Worked in television.
Oh, you don't say, wrestling and such?
No. Hard news. I've been producing segments on CETA evacuating people.
Huh. If everybody's evacuating, who's watching the news?
I guess my boss never thought of that.
Figures. Bosses are shitheads.
And you?
Nick. That's all you need to know. And I'm gonna get out of this piece of shit city if it kills me. But don't worry about learning it, because I ain't sticking around long.
Let's stay together for a little while longer at least, okay, Nick? So, pleased to meet you. My friends call me Coach. I guess y'all can do the same.
Coach?
Did you notice the pattern? Most of the time, when they introduce themselves in the elevator, he specifically says, "My name is Coach." Or he says, "My friends call me Coach." Or what about, "People just call me Coach." Oh, and can't forget the classic, "Coach will work." Why is he telling these people that he is entrusting his life to? The people that he has to be thinking at this point are the last 4 people on the entire planet besides the military. Why is he only telling these people his title? Unless this is his actual first name. I have never in my life met a person named just Coach. You know, if someone was named Coach, they would at least have a last name. Right? But no. No, his name is just Coach. Just one title. One name. Just Coach. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever met someone in your entire life with just one name? Not even a last name. Not even a middle name, which would technically still be his last name. Only one name. Only one. But there's another issue I wanna bring up here. His moral inconsistency. His inconsistency in his principles and his morals. And you're thinking to yourself, Pick, this is a virtual person. What are you talking about? Just just listen. All right, just listen and just fully grasp what I'm about to tell you. If you are a morally good character in any story, you would constantly do the same things over and over again, despite of the interactions of the outside world. But tell me why these two clips are different. Tell me.
What the heck is that chopper doing?
It's leaving us. Also, say hell.
Hey now, no need for cussing.
It's flying the hell away from the burning building we're standing the hell on. Let's follow its lead and get the hell out of here.
Oh, I think there's an evac station in the mall.
Good enough for me. Grab a weapon, let's go.
Man, back.
Damn it, man, we just missed them.
There's a mall got turned into an evac station.
In some intros of Dead Center,
Good enough for me.
Coach
Let's grab
will
some
stop
weapons and
Nick
get the hell out of here.
from cursing, saying hell, God damn it, everything under the sun. But the minute that Rochelle and Ellis start to cuss and start to say, hell, heck, shit, it it becomes very clear that Coach isn't going to stop them from saying it at all. But he will purposely go out of his way if Nick cusses first to demerit him and say, "Hey man, that's not cool. Why? Why is that?" There are even more inconsistencies. In some parts of Dead Center, Coach is all about kind of helping people and trying to find other people. But when you go immediately to the passing, the first time he immediately talks to the other group of survivors, he's immediately like, "Hey, do this for me. Hey, do that," and not even thinking that, hey, maybe they have somebody injured. You, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? If he was a morally good character like he was supposed to set up to be, he wouldn't constantly, think one way and then, immediately act the other, right? Right? But let's talk about some more of the less noticeable details about Coach. Like in the intro, not a lot of people really take the time to specifically watch one character in the intro, but if you specifically watch Coach, you'll notice something very weird. Just watch. Just watch this.
Report unusual behavior. Barricade your homes. Avoid all contact with infected individuals. Wait for official instructions. Wait my ass.
Kill all sons of bitches. That's my official instructions.
This used to be a nice neighborhood.
This is some grim shit we got ourselves into.
Who the hell puts an evac station up 30 flights of goddamn stairs?
Come on, Coach. Maybe the helicopter. Maybe it's made of chocolate.
Hey, where is everybody? Hello?
Oh, this is not happening.
Anyone here?
This is not happening. This is not happening.
Aren't they supposed to be saving our asses?
Looks like there's been a change of plans.
Stop the bombing run!
It's got me!
sons of bitches, right?
There is a lot to unpack with this entire intro, so I'm just going to start from the beginning and just work my way back. Alright, so the second scene starts with them opening a gas station and then looting around and trying to just find any sort of supplies. Coach, instead of looking for supplies, finds a sheet of paperwork. I'm guessing it's for like evacuation orders. And just listen to what he says first.
Report unusual behavior.
Report unusual behavior. You know, that sounds like a lot of different horror movie aspect things. Like, oh, if you see something weird, report it. But why does he say that first? He could have said anything on that paper first. He could have read it from the bottom down. We don't really know, but what we do know is he said that first. Alright, on to the next clip. The phrase, "this used to be a nice neighborhood," implies a lot. It implies a lot. Not only does it imply he's been to that area before, but he also knows the people in the area. What? How? How does he know the people in the area if he's never been to the specific location before? And you know he's never been anywhere past Savannah before because of what he says in the passing. There's a specific line with Rochelle where she asks Coach, "So Coach, what do you know about this under the river tour?" Which they go through in order to get to the generators on the other side of the water. And he says, "I don't know. All I know is it's under the river." So it's very clear that Coach has no idea what's happening. But how does he know that this neighborhood is a good neighborhood? That's a little suspicious.
The hell? It's an evac station. Up 30 flights of goddamn stairs.
Come on, Coach. Maybe the helicopter. Maybe it's made of chocolate.
Going back to the moral inconsistencies here. So Nick has an opportunity to make himself laugh and, kind of break the tension that's going through this humongous stairwell at the moment. And he says, maybe the helicopter's made of chocolate, Coach. He's trying to break the tension in the room. But instead of, being the holly jolly guy that Coach is, he gives Nick the evilest look that you could possibly give someone. What? He's supposed to be the morally good character, and he is eyeballing him like he wants him dead. Why? Unless that's not Coach. And I will be saying this as much as possible. That is not the Coach. That is not the Coach we are supposed to know. That is not Coach. That is a skinwalker at the minimum.
Holy shit.
Hey, kill all sons of bitches, right?
The atrium elevator scene for the intro is probably one of the most blatant scenes of Coach just not being human. So Ellis scrambles into the elevator, and the first thing the Coach does is pull a chainsaw and cut very, very close to him. I understand he's trying to get rid of the smoker tongue, but why was that his immediate reaction to just immediately grab the chainsaw? Why not an axe? Why not anything sharp? They have to have at least one sharp weapon besides the chainsaw, right? But then, as they're descending, watch Coach. Watch specifically what he does. While all the others are trying to catch their breath in some way, they're all bent down. Rochelle's kind of hunched over a little bit. But Coach, He is perfectly fine. He's not out of breath. He's not really seeming to even really be caring about the millions of zombies that are under him and he's going to have to soon fight. Whereas all the others are completely terrified. Why? Why? Now let's talk about my theory in all of this. What I think is going on with Coach and why I think he acts so weird throughout the entire game of Left 4 Dead. I think he is a skinwalker. And I know that sounds crazy to think. Alright, so this is my theory as to what I think is happening in the game actually. This is just my own little personal theory. I think the coach that we were supposed to meet is killed on the way to the evacuation of the mall. I think this skinwalker kills him, assumes his identity, and then goes maybe to Sita's specific location to find out where they are and what to do with Sita or whatever, maybe the military. But then he comes across Rochelle and is thinking, oh, look, another meal. And then quickly Ellis also stumbles upon them. So he's like, crap, now I gotta deal with two of them. And then by the time they get to the roof or starting to go up to the roof, then they stumble upon Nick, and now he's left with three humans and one skinwalker. So now he's effectively having to blend into these survivors and, kind of using them as a sort of camouflage for other humans still. But he himself is still a skinwalker. And then it becomes a point of this skinwalker, this predator animal against these rabbits, basically, is kind of having to blend in with them and literally survive for his own sake at this point because, he's probably also thinking there's no other skinwalkers in the area, there's no other of my people, so I have to stay with these humans. And then, they go through the entire South together. They go through the Whispering Oaks, they go through the passing together. And, it kind of gets to the point where Coach kind of becomes a little reliant on these people to a point. But then we get to the end of the game, and that's when it gets a little different. Alright, so Coach goes through the entire game, and he's basically relying on these humans to essentially defend him. Then they, stumble across Virgil, they do stuff for Virgil, they get Virgil gas, Virgil takes them to a couple places. And then they get to New Orleans, the place that they're supposed to go to. I believe Coach was kind of already heading to this location anyway as a skinwalker because, I feel like this is just like where a lot of that sort of mythological stuff, like when you see it in media and television, that's where they usually go to. Somewhere deep south, New Orleans, Miami, maybe Jacksonville, but I think that's just, the crackhead energy that resides in Jacksonville. But he goes to New Orleans, and they're desperately avoiding the jets, the bombers, everything the military is throwing at them, and then they have a hope of salvation with the military showing up and actually being able to save them. So, we get through the ending of the parish. They get on the helicopter, and this is where I think Coach strikes. The Skinwalker strikes. He kills the entire Left 4 Dead 2 team. They're all dead. Then Coach kills the pilot and then systematically takes over the helicopter, maybe transforms into an army guy, and then pilots it to whatever base that he's being told to pilot it to. And that's the end of Left 4 Dead 2. That's my ending for Left 4 Dead 2. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that ending, but that's genuinely what I think. But yeah, that's been my theory. Tell me what you think in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my theory here, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. That would help me out tremendously. Anyway, this is it for Pick. Peace.